It's time for Geek Court.
All right, here's the case. The spin-off fatigue indictment. The charge, dilution of the brand. The prosecution, which is me. I'm putting the existence of Gen V itself on trial, arguing that spin-off directly violates the cynical, anti-franchise satire The Boys was built on. So they're making fun of having a Vaught universe, and here they are creating a Vaught universe. Mm-hmm. How dare they?
Well, the defense, before you make your case, let's tell them what the defense will be. The defense, which is me, will be saying that Gen V actually enhances the universe. Instead of just focusing on the cynical, jaded adults like Butcher and Homelander, it shows how Vaught ruins young, hopeful lives. It has the same dark humor and gore, but it applies to a college setting, making the stakes feel fresh and not so cheap. Corporate synergy. It's excellent, expansive storytelling. So,
no, it's not.
You want to try to make your case?
First of all, I will say this, that when I first saw it, I was super excited. I'm like, yes, love The Boys. Give me more The Boys. But unfortunately, that's not what we got from Gen V. What we got from Gen V was similar to Twilight or and just, I actually, and I know we talked about this Starfleet Academy, which I love, but was not successful, partly because, and I get why you want to do it. You want to attract that younger audience. Okay. Mm-hmm. But you got to give them some, and you can't just treat them like they're not worthy of quality writing. So Gen V is not, we only got 2 seasons, I think, not because they're going to use these characters effectively. And I was on we were on the fence about what was our Geek Court going to be. And I was waiting to see, okay, are we going to get that payoff? Are we going to see these Gen V heroes show up in The Boys' final season and make the difference? No, they didn't need to be in the final season at all. They have no relevance. They could have had any other B-list superhero show up and do the exact same thing. They are wasted characters. This is a wasted 2 seasons. I may have been entertained. I'm not saying I wasn't entertained. Gladiator, are you entertained? Sure I was. But you know what? Didn't need it at all. Your case, sir.
All right. So here's the deal. This is, to me, the universe building story that I think does do a couple of things. One, what you said, which is it's trying to appeal to a younger audience, because The Boys is quite literally primarily about the boys. It's Huey, it's Butcher, it's MM, it's Frenchie, right? Yeah, we get some Starlight in there, but even all the bad guys are boys, right? So you got a very male-driven show, which most superhero shows are, and I know that's changed a lot in the last 20 years or so. Not all comic books, but the shows were typically the ones that they geared towards the men. So in this instance, Gen V focuses on the female story, a younger female story, of how this girl specifically deals with this power she has, and how that evolves from her finding out, and you end up learning her history and her situation with her sister. We do get some cameos from The Boys. Giancarlo Esposito is in this in Gen V. Starlight herself makes a couple of appearances in Gen V. I think it tried to earn its spot as a standalone. I think that the maybe original point of it was they knew they had to end The Boys, but they wanted to keep the universe alive. and they were trying to build something. Now, I will give you this part. The payoff was not there. I thought the 2 seasons were good. I thought they were fun and funny. There were goofy things. They got to showcase some new powers. It was almost like one of those first X-Men movies where you see Professor X's school and you see all the X-Men in the background. And, the first time we see Kitty Pryde, one of the X, she's like somebody who walks through the background. Right. And I thought that was kind of a cool way to show all these different power types was a campus. And, and they talk about this hierarchy and how they're indoctrinating all these kids into the Vaught world and it parallels our own world pretty clearly with the social media and the rankings and how popular you are. And so I thought it did a really good job of that. Now, the tie-in to the boys was so minimal. They used them twice in the last season. And they're basically cameos. Like they show up just because they're familiar faces. And I do agree with you on that part. I'm not going to say you won, but I agree with you on that part that they could have made them more critical members of that final team. Like this whole, I can't think of the character's name. Marie Moreau. Sorry, I can't think of it. The whole buildup of 2 seasons is her coming into her power because she's so powerful. She's the one that can help kill Homelander. And then she just drives a van full of victims away. So that's what I was talking about before when I like, it's the one thing I didn't like was that they had all these great characters, like use them. But I think Gen V itself, I think it stood up on its own. Okay. I was actually hoping for more.
So listeners and viewers, as you well know, Steve was playing the role of Butt Boy, the black hole. It was from season 2. This guy that's pulling a bunch of stuff out of his ass to try to win. We all know that Butt Boy in this case. Actually, that was not a good example because actually Butt Boy was critical to our heroes winning in the end of season 2 of Gen V. So sorry, Butt Boy. Maybe you did win after all.
I'm just saying. But now, like Jeff said, if you guys tell us what you think. Did you like Gen V? Was it worth it? Do you agree that they didn't use them properly for the finale of the real show? And do you hope they do more? Send us a note, originalgeekpodcast@gmail.com. We're going to jump into some evolution time.
Your kids don't know how good you've got it.